3, 2, 1. The legislature is a beautiful place and the provincial government is stunning. But you have to learn a lot before you can understand what happens in this democracy. Hello, my name is Sergeant Cabin Emma Lefmere, aka Aryan. Today I will be showing you the whole other world of provincial government. First thing you guys need to know is how it's organized. There are 3 branches of the provincial government. Those are executive, judicial, and legislative. Judicial is pretty self-explanatory. It has the provincial courts of Alberta, and they interpret bylaws and laws of communities, provinces, and some of Canada. Legislative is about making laws and passing bills. The executive branch is in charge of enforcing the laws and doing day-to-day work of government. They also put policies to practice. In the executive branch, the police play a big part. There are different roles for all of the people in the provincial government. All people in the provincial government are MLAs. MLAs are the representatives of constituencies in Alberta.
Hello there.
We're MLAs from the provincial government of Alberta. My name is Wayne Anderson, and I'm from the Highwood constituency.
Hello, my name is Thomas Dang, and my constituency is Southwest Edmonton.
Constituencies are different areas where you can vote. In other words, a voting area. There are 87 constituencies in Alberta, so there are 87 MLAs. Some responsibilities of MLAs are to use opinions from people in their constituencies for ideas. Also, they participate in passing bills. If you didn't know, bills are the laws before they're actually becoming an official law. The main job of an MLA is to represent the people in their constituency, called constituents.
Because we are MLAs and we work for the provincial government every single day of our lives, we know a lot about the responsibilities that we have to provide.
One major one is that we provide ministries all over the province.
A ministry is something that we have to provide for the people to make their lifestyle better and more happy. An example would be healthcare. Certain MLAs are put in the healthcare ministry so that we can make our healthcare better for everyone in the province.
Another 3 would be energy, education, provincial transportation, etc.
We also have to provide laws for the province. There are actually 5 steps in making a law, but before the law, it's called a bill. First reading. First reading is when the member who sponsored the bill summarizes the bill. Also, the MLAs take a vote if they want to go on to the second reading or second reading. This is when the member tells us why the bill was actually introduced. Afterwards, members of all parties can discuss and suggest alternatives to the bill. Once the bill has passed the second reading, it goes on to the Committee of the Whole. Committee of the Whole is when they discuss in detail, and this is where the debate takes place. Rarely, there are actually made changes to the bill. Third reading. This is where the sponsor of the bill summarizes the advantages of the bill. The opposition also tells if they want this bill or not. A final vote is taken if it wants to go on to the Royal Assent as well. Royal Assent. Once the bill has passed the third reading, it must get a Royal Assent before it officially becomes a law. A Royal Assent is where the Queen's or monarch's representative comes in to give the stamp of approval to the bill. That representative is the Lieutenant Governor.
Lastly, the government has to keep the people of Alberta happy. In a nutshell, they just have to be looked after.
You will also need to know how representatives are chosen in the provincial government. Because I'm an MLA and I've already been elected, I know how the election works. Basically, in different constituencies, people have to elect their MLAs. In the end, every single MLA who gets elected wins a seat for their party. Once all the constituencies have MLAs, they count up all the seats for the different parties. The one with the most seats wins the election. There are several different political parties of Alberta. Their main 6 of them. One of them is New Democratic Party, Green Party, Alberta Party, Progressive Conservative Party, Wild Rose, and Liberal Party. Political parties are groups of people who have the same ideas in government. Each political party has a leader who becomes the premier if they are elected. The political party that is elected has all the MLAs and has the premier. They are representing Alberta. Some MLAs in those parties are given special roles from the premier. Some of those roles are cabinet ministers. MLAs and cabinet ministers aren't the same, but everybody thinks they are. MLAs serve the people in their constituencies. They also listen to the people for ideas. They only introduce, debate, and vote on bills. On the other hand, cabinet ministers research bills. They also are in charge of certain ministries, as we talked about before. Cabinet ministers also work on making a budget for the government. If you didn't know, a budget is a limit of money that you can spend. They also discuss plans with the premier. Those are just the differences between cabinet ministers and MLAs. They also have similarities. The one obvious one is that they're both MLAs. They both also serve the people in their constituencies, and they also take part in developing bills. And lastly, they both take on government issues. Well, another role is the premier. The premier really doesn't give herself the role, but when the leader of the political party, she or he is the premier. Premier is the head of the party, as you already know. They also give special roles to other MLAs, and they represent their whole political party. Another special responsibility is the speaker. The speaker is the one who enforces the rules in debates and meetings. He always makes sure that all MLAs get treated fairly and every one of them gets a turn to speak. He is always neutral in debates. He works in the chamber where all the debates and meetings happen of the government. Another special role is the lieutenant governor. Well, you could say he's not really an MLA, but he does take a big part in developing bills. Our lieutenant governor is Louis Michel. It's a she, believe it or not. She is the one who gives royal assent to bills. She's also the Queen's representative. The royal assent is always given to bills, no matter if she agrees or doesn't. But they're always passed into making a law. Another huge responsibility for the lieutenant governor is to invite the leader of the political party to become the premier. He also gives a royal message called the Speech of the Throne to the government. This is where the governor outlines the agenda for the whole government, or the schedule for that session. This royal message is said in the chamber, but the lieutenant governor doesn't come in by herself. She is escorted by the sergeant at arms. He is the one who provides the security in the chamber. He comes in with the black rod, but before that, he knocks the door with 3 taps. Then they can come inside together. The black rod is a symbol of our independence from the monarch. I did tell you around half of the things that the sergeant at arms does, but I should tell you the other half as well. Basically, the sergeant at arms carries the mace into the chamber. The mace is also a symbol of the black rod, but it symbolizes something completely different. It symbolizes how the assembly has the right to make laws for the province. The mace sits on the assembly table during the debates. It also points to the governing party in the chamber. Those are just 5 out of so many more roles for MLAs. Now that I've told you a lot about how representatives are chosen, I should tell you how you can become a candidate yourself. Some candidates run independently or with parties. But for both of them, there are the same rules applied for becoming a candidate. One major one is that you have to be over 18. Also, you have to be living in Alberta for 6 months consecutively before election day. Also, you have to be living in the constituency that you want to run in. Now all you need is a campaign that will boost your chances into becoming elected.
Yeah, Thomas,
What?
get out of here. I can
Stop.
take over for now.
So this has been Aryan as your training guide. I hope you are going to be a great tour guide. Obviously, you will after watching this video, of course. And my job as a tour guide was amazing. I hope you have an amazing time as well. Fantastic time. Goodbye. This has been Sergeant Cabin MLF Mir, aka Aryan, as your training guide.